We play some Tales from the Loop, so should we get into it? Should we do it?
Yes.
Do it.
Last week, we snuck off school, lied to our parents, hacked the computer system so we didn't have to lie to our parents.
Yeah, that was me.
Yeah. And missed our maths quiz.
Yeah.
To go and save our teacher. Although we didn't know if we were saving him or if he was... We knew somewhere in the woods our teacher would be doing something. It turned out we were concerned that he might have been turned into a cat. We tinkered. We all got really upset, really injured, a little bit tired or angry.
Yeah.
Overtired,
yeah.
There's 3 very cranky kids coming back from the woods.
Yeah. But we managed to find Mr. Doldrum and save him. So I think this session, like in the TV series that is the Lancashire Loop, it starts where we ended. And Mr. Doldrum leans forward and says, "Well, gee, I don't suppose you kids have got any candy bars."
Yeah, and I handed him a chocolate bar.
And you hand him a chocolate bar, and he takes the chocolate bar off Butch, and like I guess anybody who's probably not eaten anything for a while and has been kept alive by like cat spit and other. You know, when we think about how he stayed alive, it suddenly is a bit of it's a bit Delta Green rather than a bit anything else.
Yeah.
He scarfs this chocolate bar. You can see him like licking his fingers, and then he suddenly starts to be like, "Ooh,
Everything
hey,
smells of cat piss.
yeah, hey kids, I don't want to be rude, and I really thankful for what you did, but could you just for a minute, just wait outside for me? Just go wait. Is my car still there? My car's still there. Go wait
van?
outside. Yeah, the van.
Mr. Dalton Caps here. I don't want to be rude by overstaying my welcome, but we did just transfer your brain from a cat, which is weird and everything, and I'm really badly burned from trying to do that. So I know this isn't like me, but I know you're a teacher and everything, but I think you can't just tell us to go away like we're just some kids anymore, because we just like saved your life and stuff. And yeah, I'll give you some time if you want to clean up all the cat sick and pee that's all over you. That's understandable. But I do think that me, Butch, and Christian need some kind of explanation of what all this is. Please. Sorry. Bye.
He nods. He's like, yeah, Preston, you know, kid, you're right. But
yeah, go clean up the cat pee. It's
over
fine.
there, I've got a bag of clothes and.
Yeah, and I'll just kind of walk.
He's gonna get naked.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's not up
Yeah.
for
Slowly close the door.
it. Yeah.
I just don't want it to be like, right, get gone, and then just disappear in his van.
GTFO, you little pesky
Yeah.
kids. Just get out of town. No,
Understand.
so he obviously doesn't want to get undressed in front of 3 kids.
Yeah, Operation U Tree don't want to get involved.
No. So you hear him, and you can hear like clattering, and maybe there's like a meow or something from a cat he's disturbed somewhere in there, and the cat sort of climbs out the roof and disappears off. And there's maybe 5 minutes or so while he's in there, and then he opens the door. He's got a different t-shirt on, and like another pair of jeans. He still has like terrible bed hair from that colander thing he had on his head, and he still stinks like somebody who's slept in the same cat shed for, I think we're on about 2.5 weeks or so of
Wow.
being in the shed. So
Look at the cats didn't start eating him.
well, I think it's lucky that he had a cat controlling computer that prevented that. But yeah, he comes out onto the porch of this little dilapidated building, and looks at you all, and he's like, "Well, I guess you all deserve a big old science award, eh, kids?"
I would say so. I think.
If it counts as a pass on a maths test, that would be helpful.
And he's like, "Well, I don't know where we're up to in the curriculum so far, but I can. That might be difficult, Christian. How about I get you some money? I can get you some money."
Not really fussed about money. What am I going to do with some money?
Well,
Buy things.
yeah.
I can't buy a good math test result.
Well, now this is all done. I was actually thinking, this has been quite stressful. It's been a little bit confusing. I was thinking about maybe I just go straight on a holiday.
Mr. Human, sir, is that why you've got so many different pictures of yourselves in different passports, so that you can go on different places on holiday?
Yeah, aren't you observant one? Yeah.
Well, it was also, is that why you were, well, you were a cat, Mr. Doldenhume, sir, and there were other cats doing strange things. Were you telling the other cats what to do when you were a cat?
Well, I can see why you might think that, Preston, but that's just, that's ridiculous, really, isn't it? Who could build a machine like that?
Well, you seem to be able to build a machine to put your brain into a cat, so which I think is pretty strange. So if you can put your brain in a cat, maybe you can put other cats' brains and control them, maybe. And we saw some cats acting really weird, and me and Christian looked in a window once, and this cat looked like it was spying on some computer work.
And he begins like, ha, you're a funny little kid. Completely trying to, like, I don't know, gaslight you or something. Yeah, totally. Like,
I'm just gonna try and
looking at you, Butch. Like, look at these little kids. They're so silly.
Staring at him.
I'm going to be completely oblivious and be like, yeah, and then we found the same paperwork that we saw on the computer screen in your house, and it was really weird. And then we saw pictures of you all over the world, and a keyring from Dart, which is obviously another company that my dad doesn't work for, that doesn't like my dad's company. And it's all a bit strange that my science teacher is a cat and also goes on lots of holidays. I'm a bit confused. Like, I consider myself a bit clever, I suppose, but I don't really know what's happening. So can you just please explain to me why you put your brain in a cat and why the cats have all been weird? Like, what's going on?
And he looks at you, and he looks at Butch, and he looks at Christian, and he reaches into, like, this back pocket.
Uh-oh.
And shoots us all.
Pulls out his wallet and, like,
game over.
Pulls out his wallet and, like, I can't remember what colour 50-pound notes were in the 80s, but this red
pink, are they, like, really pink?
Yeah. Pulls out this pink note and says, "Hey, it's Friday. Why don't we go for bowling and pizza? Who wants a pizza party?
I like pizza. I'm
really hungry." And he sort of, like, just completely tries to blow over it. He's like, "Come on, kids. I can get you as many toppings as you want at the bowling alley."
Has he had a shower? Does he actually smell better now?
No, he stinks.
Yeah, he's
basically changed his t-shirt and his pants.
Oh god.
He might have poured a bottle of water over his head.
That sounds great. But like, we've got to go home. We kind of falsified our reasons for being here.
Mr. Doldrum needs to go and visit the hospital.
Ooh, no, I'm all good. Look at me, I'm fine. As he sort of staggers a bit, or maybe he does something like licks the back of his hand and rubs his head or something. No, I just need to.
Does he start trying to lift his leg to kick himself in the ear? Like, oh no, that's not.
Yeah, something like that. And he's like, no, I'll be fine. And then he looks at you, Butch, and he goes, "Say, do you want a driving lesson?"
I very much insist, Mr. Doldrum, we need to take you to the hospital.
Right. Pizza? No?
No.
I could go for pizza. I like pizza.
Yeah.
There's a great pizza place right next to the hospital.
Yeah.
Hey, we could go via the comic store.
Totally, we'll take you to the comic shop, and I'll buy you a bunch of comic books.
I'll lean into Butch and kind of be like, Butch, I think I might be wrong, but I don't think he wants to go with us, and he seems to be wanting to make us.
While they're having this conversation, I'll talk to Mr. Doldrum to distract him and be like, "So what was it like being a cat then?"
Yeah, sure.
I always thought it'd be really cool to be a cat and just sort of yammer on away at him.
He seems to want to give us things so that we leave him alone. So, like, maybe we should take, like, what we can get. Like, if he's gonna drive us to the comic store, we can get, like, candy and comics and pizza and like, yeah, he was a cat, but knowing why he was a cat isn't as good as having a Batman. Like, I don't care if I've got Spider-Man issue 12 and Batman versus the Riddler. Like, you be a cat. It's cool.
Preston, do
Yeah?
you remember, like, all the arguments that's been going on recently that we had in the church about things going some places they shouldn't be because some people are leaking information, because someone might be a spy?
Yeah.
It
But,
might be good if you
like,
bring
all
the
the films I've seen though, like with James Bond and stuff, he's got loads of money and he gets martinis and fast cars and things. So, like, maybe he could buy some new D&D books. Like, the next edition of Advanced D&D is going to come out soon, so maybe, like, he can take us to like the Goblin Trader and like, this could be a cool, like. Is it important that we know why he was a cat? I mean, I'm curious, but equally, like, pizza and comics is also good.
But he's...
I don't know.
Oh, no, I'm not there.
Like, I trust you. I can see the.
He's very unsteady on his feet, and for him, just for his own safety, it would be good to get him to the hospital.
Yeah, cool. You're older than me. You're more responsible. I kind of, I guess I'm being a bit silly, but yeah, cool. Okay. It would be cool to get a comic though.
It would. Just some
after the hospital.
Very much so.
Okay.
So we're committed to taking him to hospital then?
I'm very committed to take him to hospital. For two, A, for him, and B, for the fact that I need to make sure he gets back. But I'm very worried about. He's an adult, and I'm like 15, and as much as weak as he is, I'm very, like, really worried right now.
Having had a bit of a chat with him, could I have a chance at empathizing with him?
Yes,
sure. To just sort of, like, try and make him realise, he was a cat, and there's a slight chance there might be some medical issues involved with transferring your brain from yourself to a cat and back.
There might be some residual cat left.
Yeah. At the very least, he's probably very dehydrated, and cat's pissed in his mouth,
Probably.
And it's just not very sanitary. He could have infections and all sorts of stuff.
Probably. So
yeah.
make a empathize roll.
Does the fact that I was upset and injured matter?
So every condition you have takes 1 out of your dice pool.
Oh, okay.
So if you're upset and
-2.
injured, so you'd be -2.
Okay, that's all right. So I just have my mind.
Leave him
Well,
just
heart
absorb
actually,
it.
but no, it's
Is that
not mind.
missing?
Yeah, I've got 4 dice. Okay. 4 6-sided dice.
Mm-hmm.
Start.
Go.
And I have 1 6.
All right. So what were you trying to work out from him? What are you? As you're chatting with him, and he's
I was
talking.
chatting to him about being a cat and like what it was like, just generally being a cat. If his like senses were heightened, and if he understood what the other cats were like saying in cat language, which I'm sure they all have. And like where he slept tonight, and if he found somewhere comfortable to be, and what it was like when it was really cold, and then just like could he hear the stars and other random crap like that. And then
Can you hear?
Can you smell colours as a cat?
So he sort of gives you a bunch of obviously he knows a lot about cats. He obviously knows a lot about things like that, and he sort of goes on about how cats are much more intelligent than we anticipate, and they can blah blah blah, gives you all these different facts about them and that kind of thing. So he's kind of like, yeah, well, there's some kind of communications. I guess the movement of the tail, you would not believe how important that is in cat language and that kind of stuff. And no, I couldn't hear the stars. They're too far away for me for cats to pick up frequency.
Cats have got better hearing though.
Yes,
If
absolutely.
a cat can't hear them, then who can?
Those giant radio dishes, and he points towards Joggerel Bank.
Joggerel Bank. Nice.
But yeah, he tells you all these. Is there like something you're trying to?
Well, so I guess I was talking about the experience, and then I wanted to sort of like steer the conversation towards, like, you know, he's now back in his own body. That must feel very different and weird. And does he know if he's all still there, basically? And maybe it might be a good idea if somebody other than himself were to make that judgment. And that's just the rational, sane thing to do for an adult, says the 11-year-old.
Says the 11-year-old. So yeah, I guess as you steer the conversation towards this, he kind of is like, I guess it would be interesting to get a brain scan. I wonder if and he sort of, and you can see the point where at some time in his life he has been a really passionate scientist. Like his enthusiasm for science and this kind of stuff is not like forced, but at some point he's flipped to being like, yeah, but the pay is rubbish, kind of, and you can see that kind of come back alive, and he's like, I guess it would be. I wonder if and he mentions part of the brains that I don't know and that kind of stuff, and whatever this computer system is sort of tapped into. Yeah, the amygdala, the I am Jack's yeah, whatever. That's a Fight Club reference. Yeah, Fight Club reference there.
The brainy bit.
The brainy. I am Jack's brainy bit. But yeah, he sort of gets kind of caught up in this excitement about science and how he's affected the brains, and it'd be good. I wonder if we could catch the me, not me.
I can catch a cat. I saw the cat. I'll kind of run off and chase it because I was.
It scratched me.
Just
the one that scratched me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we should get that looked at. Cats' claws. You know, some of the places those things have been. And then he looks at Butch and is sort of like, well, I guess you're right. Yeah. Okay. We'll
Get some food as well.
Yeah. Gosh, I'm hungry. And I need a toothbrush.
I bet he does.
I'll look in my survival pack and pull out a small toothbrush for him.
Do you have one of those chewable ones?
I don't think they've been invented yet.
Okay. Well, okay.
Hey, this is the start. We just invent them right now.
Yeah. So Christian, Butch, and Preston give up the odd socks for.
Inventing chewable toothbrushes.
And what is the thing from Red Dwarf? The tension square.
Yeah.
We're gonna make one of them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Red bubble wrap.
Definitely. He looks at you, Butch, and he's like, Have you ever driven a car before?
Not a van. I've driven a tractor.
Oh, it's gonna be the same. I've got an automatic. It'll be fine.
Okay, I'm sure it'll be fine.
Like this is the
The
grown up.
confidence in
I
your
kind
voice.
of want to drive this, but at the same time, it's just like.
This is the grown up, like saying, "I'm not capable of driving after being a cat for 2 weeks."
Yeah, I'll help him into the van.
Yeah.
And
So he bundles you all. Sort of cajoles you all in. He looks around one last time at the place. He gets in the van. He hands you the keys, Butch, and he is like, "I guess we're going to the hospital then."
yeah, well, let's see then.
Can we bring the fat grey cat?
You want to find the fat grey cat?
Yeah, I want to bring the cat that he was in.
I want to try and find the cat. I think that's going to be some kind of movement roll.
Okay, yeah.
Sneak, force, move. It won't be Tinker, program, calculate.
No, it won't be Tinker.
Contact, charm.
Is this the right
Contact, charm, lead, investigate, comprehend, or empathize. I think it probably move.
I think, move. Definitely a movement-based one. So, yeah, move. Give us a move roll. There it is.
Nope.
No. Do you want to push?
I've got 2 luck points. I'll give it a go.
Use some luck?
See how lucky I can find this cat. Yeah, 1 success.
Oh, excellent. So, yeah, there's a little bit of, like, I guess, German swear words or English calling the ref names, as we've established.
Scheißekatze.
Yeah. And so on. But you managed to get this uncooperative cat that sits on your knee and hisses at Christian. It's like, doesn't like you, Christian. Yeah.
I'm gonna try and hey, Butch, have you got any more like chocolate or any like crisps or anything?
Pepperoni.
Pepperoni, any jerky or.
I've got some snacks in that pocket.
Yeah.
In my backpack.
I'm gonna grab like some jerky from Butch's bag and start kind of feeding it, trying to calm it down and give it a bit of a stroke and look after it a bit.
You are treating it like the Egyptian god it is.
I'm gonna keep calling it Mr. Doldrum as well. That's his name now.
Cat.
Yeah, Mr. Doldrum cat.
Yeah. So yeah, you're treating it like the Egyptian god it deserves to be. You're feeding it offerings and praise, so it will consent to being brought into the car, the van even, and off as you drive across town towards the hospital.
Do I need to make any sort of roll for driving? Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah.
Right, what do I need to make?
I'm pretty sure I had this written down as where is it? It's a tinker roll.
That's not too bad then.
Oh, you little tinker.
You little tinker.
Too bad. It's -1 for being exhausted. I got 1 success.
All right, just enough. As we sort of were helped because it's an automatic and we haven't got to do the clutch stuff, which is probably easier than the tractor, which also has weird, annoying clutch stuff and that kind of thing. And we slowly, like, driving across the field, we do a bit of sort of stuff. And I imagine, like, is Butch super cautious? Or is he very like, why? What's his approach?
I think I'll probably be relatively cautious because of the fact that I've not driven an actual van or car or anything before. I've only driven a tractor. So I think maybe if I get the hang of it at any point, it sort of feels like I've got it under control and stuff, I might start going a little bit faster than I should be going.
So you slowly kind of build up a bit of confidence, and then as we get to the hospital, now we're sort of taking the corners at maybe 15 miles an hour rather than 3 kind of thing, and it suddenly feels much faster than a tractor, and that kind of thing. Yeah. But we're not driving it like the Batmobile.
No. I'll get up to like maybe 20 on the straights, and then brake far too early for the hospital, and then have to get back up to speed again, and then carefully like look for somewhere to park and hope there's somewhere I can just move a van into.
Yeah. Okay. The other question I needed to remember. So how did we get to the place? Did we come on like BMXs and bikes, or did we just hike out? Did we just walk?
We hiked out.
Okay.
Yeah, it was like we took my.
You took your hoverbike halfway.
The closest point we could, and then we just hiked across.
Okay, just checking. Otherwise, we would have I'm not going to have stolen your bikes.
Yeah.
That's just when you would have had time, and as a character's known to put them in the back of the van.
Yeah.
No, I'm just checking. So we get there. There has possibly been 1 or 2 sort of funny looks as you've drove past on the way. Like, hang on, was that? But Butch is not that small. It would have been much worse if Christian was driving. 11-year-old, like.
Oh, I'd be fine. What are you on about?
On the booster seat.
Yeah, well easy.
But Butch.
Well, is it an automatic or a?
Yeah, it's
manual?
an automatic.
Just stick it in drive, stand on the chair.
It's automatic because he's not at all American and not really faking this English thing. He can totally be English, which is a thing I guess wouldn't occur to any of the kids, but might occur to us grown-ups. But he gets there. You get there. There's been a couple of funny looks as you've drove past people double checking, but by the time they get to check again, you're already further up down the street, and it's a van, so they can't see through the back. There's no close calls with a police car pulling up next to us or anything like that. And we get him to the hospital, and we head into A&E, which is like a quiet affair. There's no big emergencies or anything like that. And we cakes. And we check him in. So he before you get to the desk, kind of looks at you all and says, and he pulls out and he nods at Preston kind of thing, and he goes, look, how about we call me Uncle Jerry, and let's just say I've been camping for a bit. It's been a long week. All right.
Uncle Jerry got lost in the woods. Cool.
Yeah, and he gives you a note.
Yeah. I know where this is going.
Yeah, and he then looks at Butch and Christian, and he's like, yeah. And
sometimes the righteous must protect the weak.
I want it to be like, but why? But both of Butch and Preston have sort of gone along with it, so I probably would just be like, okay.
This is our adventurer's spoils. A good
Kinda
paladin
weird.
knows when to take the treasure from the adventure. This is our treasure. We did the quest. This is our treasure.
Okay.
So he hands you these £50 notes, and I guess Butch might notice, Preston. Well, I guess all of you would notice to a certain degree, depending on which filter of innocence we want to put it through. But his wallet is quite chunky with this cash, which is strange because a lot of teachers complain about how broke they are all the time. He is not broke, and he sort of nods at you all. You head into A&E, and he heads up to the desk, and he looks at the triage nurse, and he's kind of like, Good afternoon, Miss Nurse. I've had a bit of a camping accident, and my good nephew's here. have helped me come for a little bit of a check over. And there's grown-ups. I like to imagine it's a bit like an Snoopy, where they just go off screen kind of thing. That kind of stuff. And they talk for a bit, and he comes away with like a clipboard, and he sits down, and he says, maybe a tiny bit too loudly, well, kids, thanks for looking after old Uncle Jerry. If you want to get home to your mums, that'd be not a problem.
I'm going to say, Uncle Jerry, it was a pleasure. I hope you're okay. I'm really worried about you. We need to get a taxi home, though, and we haven't got any money. So if you've got any money for a taxi, that would be great.
You can make
And I'm going to make the sweetest sort of shit-eating grin at him.
Let's see. Let's just see how.
Charm, would it be?
Yeah, definitely a charm. I just want to see how much you can rinse.
Milk.
Yeah.
How much you can rinse this dude for.
So, 2 successes.
All
Don't we
right,
want to stick around to see the result of this brain scan?
I mean, we could, I suppose.
I thought that was why we were here.
No, we just
It's going to be a
wanted to make sure
while.
Yeah,
before
that A is going to be a
happens.
while, and B, he's like, oh yeah, I forgot. I should give you some money to take home for your mum to have the pizza party we promised as well.
Yep,
Wink, wink.
yeah. And for the taxis.
And for the taxis that you all individually need, because you can't share a
Yep.
cab because
Nope.
you live so far apart.
Yep.
And he reaches back and
And you know, my mum was very worried about you, so she'd be very concerned. So it'd be nice to get her some flowers on the way home too, wouldn't it, Uncle Jerry?
and he sort of was like, and he takes out like 4 notes, like £100, which is a mighty fine sum in the 80s.
Yeah, it's a lot. Yeah.
And he looks at you, Preston, and he waves.
I was going to be smiling the most sweetest, innocent, like, yeah.
He hands it over to Butch in a like, I'm being rinsed, but you can't rinse your friends sort of thing. And he hands these 4 notes over to Butch, and he's like, yeah, make sure you get your mama some nice flowers there. And
Get well soon, Uncle Jerry.
Yeah. he nods. He says, yeah. But really, guys, thanks for helping me out in the woods there. Thanks for that. If you yeah, thanks. Like he was going to say something else, but then decided not to.
Yeah.
And he sits down and he says, well, better fill out the forms, and begins to fill out some stuff.
And we'll leave him to it.
Leave him to it. And when we're outside, I head immediately to the police station.
What, to dob him in?
Yep.
Okay.
There's no
No,
honour.
we can't do that. We can't do that, Butch. If we say that we were in the woods today and we were with Uncle Jerry, I mean, Miss Dalton Katzer, then the school will know that I lied to them, and your mum will know that you lied to her, and Christian's mum will know that he missed the maths test, and we'll get in so much trouble. Like,
We just have to say we saw him at the hospital.
well, why were you at the hospital? We should be in school.
Yeah, he's our alibi.
We need to, like, I know that the right thing to do is to report him, and the good thing to do, but, like, we'll all get in so much trouble. Like,
Do you have... I could phone the police.
I've got my hand
then.
up. I want to talk.
Yes, Christian?
Well, so Mr. Doldrum Katzer doesn't want people to know he was a Katzer. So it kind of seems like, we didn't tell people at the hospital that he was a cat. And he had to go along, and he was kind of scared that we might mention he was a cat. But he might keep thinking that we're going to mention he's a cat. So he might might give us more money or say other good things about what we've been up to, where we've been, what's going to happen. It's like, all of a sudden, like, Christian's brain just going like, possibilities.
You're a point of Preston. You were a bad influence, Preston.
Look, if you go on a quest, the end of the dungeon, you get the treasure, and that magic well wasn't empty, so we needed to keep emptying it.
But you have to beat the bad guy at the end to earn the treasure, Preston.
I know, and I know he's bad, and I know he's been spying on people, but he didn't hurt anybody, and he hasn't, as far as I can tell.
He has hurt people. There's people being sent back. All your friends, your dad's friends, have been sent back.
Yeah, but I never liked them anyway.
I like
Your dad
those
does.
£50 notes more than I like them. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you're right, but if my mum finds out that I used my computer to fake a note to the school to say I was off school, she might take it away from me, and I can't have that. I can't think that she could take my Atari from me because of me lying to school, and she might. And yeah, he's bad, but he's just going to go away, and then everything will just go back to normal because he won't be here anymore. And he was always nice at school and things, and I don't think he's a bad person. He didn't kill people or hurt people. He just.
Well, I'll not mention. I'll just do it myself then.
I mean,
I won't
what
mention
we could
you, and
do.
I won't mention Christian.
What we could do is we could say that we found some notes from, I don't know, we went to see if he was okay when we heard out he was missing, and his door was open. We could just tell a little white lie that his door was open, and we found some notes, and then give that to my dad and say, look, I heard you talking about this the other day. Is this the project you were talking about? It was at Mr. Dalton's house. And then he would know that Mr. Dalton was the one that was spying, and then my dad's friends wouldn't have to go away. And then if Mrs. Dalton got caught after that, then maybe that would be good. But if I just don't want to get us in trouble. If you think that's the right thing to do, I trust you, but I just.
I don't want to obviously get you.
I don't want you to get in
Preston,
trouble.
but
like this is your last summer, and if your mum finds out you lied to her, and she might just take you away and make you work on the farm, and then we're just going to be stuck, just me and Christian, and then the odd socks is kind of missing a sock. We're just two socks then. This is kind of boring.
Oh.
We need three to be odd.
Normal number of socks, yeah.
With the even socks, or just socks. We need you to be odd.
So
This is called emotional blackmail.
I kind of feel like this is one of those moments where it is indeed a little bit of player versus player in the Tales of a Loop fashion, where I guess it's opposing lead roles, really, isn't it?
I guess so, yeah.
Or unless you're doing it, what is the thoughts here? Is Preston trying to manipulate and Butch trying to lead?
I think I'm trying to lead.
Butch is trying to do the right thing.
Definitely trying to lead.
And trying to lead us to do the right thing, and I'm trying to manipulate him, so I'm trying to charm him to...
Okay.
Not, I guess.
For the heart of Christian. For his soul. No. So I think this is an opposed role.
Okay.
Yeah.
And again, like Extended Trouble, if you want to push more than once and you want to use up all your bits and pieces and make yourself broken by the end of it, you can.
Just on my knees screaming at Butch, like, no!
No! No! Yeah.
All right. I got 2 dice plus a luck left, so let's see what
I
happens.
got 4 with my exhausted off my 5.
Oof.
Nope.
Do you want to use your luck?
I'm going to use my luck. Nope.
All right. So,
I could push it, but I'm not going to.
You're not going to push it?
No, I'm not.
All right. So in this situation, even though Preston is like begging, crying, manipulating, waving the £50 notes around, emphatically certain, if you tell a grown-up it's all going to go horribly wrong. Butch's lawful good setting comes out, and you have to, in some way, tell the police or a grown-up or somebody that you know where Mr. Doldrum is, and you know what he's been, or at least tip someone off.
I understand what you're worried about, and I'm up for doing it some different way. But we need to tell someone while he's in the hospital. We need to.
You're right.
You might just go on holiday and we'll never see him again.
You're right. I guess you're right. I suppose sometimes a true hero has to sacrifice himself to do the right thing. That's what Varazan would do, and I suppose I have to step into the boots of my hero. Okay.
With a heavy heart.
If you want to tell someone, then we should tell someone. I don't think we should tell them about the money, though. Christian mum was saying the church needs a new roof. At least, even if we do the right thing and don't keep it, we should donate it to the church and not give it to the police. If I have to give it away, I don't want to just give it to them.
Compromise. Okay, I don't think I could. Yeah.
Just on Sunday, we can, when the donation plate gets passed around, we can just put it all in there. If you think it's wrong to keep it, then that's at least something good we're doing with it. But at least it helps us.
That's a good idea. I like that. Yeah. Right. I was just going to go to the police station, but I don't know if that's just my immediate thought. I don't know if you have a better idea.
I mean, you could, like, if you're not sure of who to talk to, you could tell one of your anchors, and they could then, help. That's what they're kind of there for.
Yeah, I think your granddad would be a good shout, Butch. I think he would. He's wise. He's been around the block, and equally, I think he understands sometimes that boys will be boys, and if we've done some stuff that's a bit roughhousing, like a bit.
Yeah, actually, it's a good idea. I'm gonna chat with my granddad. I think
my uncle would tell my mum straight away, so I don't want to tell him.
All right, let's go get my bike and we'll go to my granddad and have a chat with him.
Okay. So is everybody going to see Grandad, or are we all sort of heading home to have a bath and dress our wounds and some food or a bandage or whatever?
I kind of feel like I need to head home like ASAP to try and well, hopefully no one noticed the state that I'm in. Get washed and cleaned up. Try and get away with not having done the test.
Yeah, I agree with Christian. I think we'll probably try and get home and pretend normality while we put all the weight of the decision on Butch and go like, once more into the breach, dear friend. Off you go.
I'll sort it out. Don't worry.
You'll get the job done.
Yeah, I'll get the job done.
All right.
Yeah.
Butch gets the job done. I like it.
I do.
Living up to that pride there. Living up to that pride. So we head across the town, make sure Butch gets his bike. Then we head back towards the farm. Christian and Preston jump off the bike and slowly make their way across more fields. It's a pupper.
It is, yeah.
What's the puppy called?
Doggo. Chip.
Chip. Hi, Chip.
Hello. Say hello.
Doggos. Sorry. Excuse me, dogs. We make our way across the farm, the fields, and we eventually split up into our respective homes. Who wants to get home first? Who do we see first?
I think I'd be first, I guess, since I'm there already. Sure.
So you get home. You can see the farm looks like it's just ticking along. It's probably a little bit earlier than you would. Your mum would have expected you home after today. She thought you were going to be out for pretty much everything. But she sort of waves at you when you get in, very sort of like, oh yeah, had a good day, did everything you needed. Did you how far through the book are you? I hope the church wasn't too noisy.
No, it was okay. I just need to just have a quick wash, and I just need to have a chat with my granddad. I'll speak to you in a few.
Yeah. There's some sandwiches on the side if you want, and I'm gonna roast some chicken for tea. And she just sort of heads off to some other part of the farm.
And I not hungry at all because I'm so guilty, right? I feel so guilty right now. I'll head up, clean up, and then head back out to see my granddad.
Mhm. Yeah. He's in his shed.
Granddad.
And he's like, "Oh, Butch, my lad, come in. Where did you find it?" And he brandishes this obscure tool that he's been searching for weeks. Where did you find it, lad?
I might have found it when I was looking for the tools and put it to the side. I think maybe.
Good effort, my friend. Good effort. And he, he sort of. Sorry, Butch. Are you all right?
Not really. I kind of need to have a So
you can see that you're sort of like struggling, and he probably puts up like 2 deck chairs or something.
Yeah.
2 old oil-stained deck chairs. Rummages in a drawer, finds a couple of tin mugs, gets some Kendall mint cake, some Lucozade, and he sits around.
Classic.
So you're facing like the farmland. The house is behind you, everybody, and you can see the farmland as you're looking over. You can see a couple of the hands, the guys like moving stuff around.
Yeah.
You can see as it's getting to late in the evening, some of the agri drones, the bots are sort of beginning to dart around the edges. You can see them like doing their, I guess it would be like pre-job checks where they remeasure the size of the field so they know they're in the right place and that kind of stuff. Just the orientation things, and you can see them and they look like little things buzzing about. And he sits you down and he pours some Lucozade in your cup, pours some Lucozade in his cup, opens like a hip flask, pours a good chunk of that in his, looks at you and says, "Nah, next summer, lad," puts it back in his pocket, and does like the clink. He's like, "Go on then."
So I'll take like a small sip from the mug, and then I won't touch the cake.
Good choice.
And sort of take a moment, yeah. So I've been some friends noticed and overheard some stuff recently with Mr. Doldrum, who's going missing.
Oh, it's that science teacher that's run off with a fancy woman in it.
Yeah. Well, no. So I was supposed to be doing some studying today on that book to help the Hartisons out tomorrow, and
he gestures at the things nipping around.
Yeah. And that wasn't true. What we found some information out because we've been keeping an eye out on stuff and listening for stuff for him, and found something out that he's in the really deep forest over past the borders.
Mm-hmm.
So we went there instead of doing my book, and found Mr. Doldrum in a shed with a bunch of science stuff around him.
Mm-hmm.
He was really sort of ill, weak, doing some weird science stuff. I don't quite understand all of it, but there was lots of cats, and we took him to a hospital, and that's where we left him there at the moment, and I also drove a van as well. I drove him in a van. But yeah, he's safe, but he's not run away. He's been doing some. I think he's a spy.
And he
he's all this.
He sort of sits there for a bit and like sipping his Lucozade and whiskey or whatever it is he's added, his scumble, or he's probably got a still somewhere on the farm that your dad probably still can't find. He's that kind of granddad. So he sits there and you can hear him sort of sipping it, and it probably takes the wind out of him a moment because it's that bad a brew or something. And he's like, so the man who was missing, you found him. But while you found him, you were supposed to you didn't meet your obligations in order to find him.
Yeah.
And
we needed time.
And if you hadn't have found him, would he have been safe?
No, he was strapped into his machine, and he looked like he was like super sweated everything out, and he wasn't drinking or eating or anything. And yeah, we didn't find him. He would have been really bad shape.
And he sort of, he nods. He says, well, when I was younger, it wasn't this complicated. You had to do what your jobs were, and it was very simple. World you're growing up in, lad, is much, much more complicated than I'll ever have to do. I just had to remember what day to feed the pigs every day, what month to use the right field, and how to keep your grandma happy. Seems to me you've done a few small bad things to get one large good thing. You might have to make some amends to all the people you did the bad things to, but in the grand tally of it all, you've done the right thing, I think.
I know that he's, from the stuff he had, that he's got a lot of special, like, secret stuff. Like, he's got lots of different passports, and he's got these blueprints that are supposed to be for those special people who do the
math man.
Yeah, like the special people. And I know that
well, I have to say I'm feeling a little bit of sympathy for the fella. I don't have any love for those math, but I think I understand what you're trying to say, lad.
Yeah.
Now, I know, and he mentions, like, well, we haven't named a policeman or anyone like that, but he's like, well, I know Jonathan's dad. Jonathan's a good copper. Why don't, and he looks at his watch. He looks at his watch and he goes, aye, I could probably head down to Labour Club and have a chat with him. And you concentrate on making amends for all the little bads you've done, and I'll sort out this bit. And he pats you on the shoulder, not making eye contact. He's not that kind of thing. That would be for Jesse's kind of thing. But he pats you on the shoulder as he reaches across, and he looks at you and says, I guess you are getting old enough now, and doesn't tip it from his hip flask, but his tin mug of Lucozade, he pours, like, I don't know, 5 ml of it in. So technically, you've got some booze. And he does that, and then he sups the rest, and he goes, oh, better go and put good pants on if I'm going to Labour Club, that kind of thing. And you see him sort of like, ooh, and do the granddad thing, and walk into the house and that kind of stuff. And he will take responsibility for the next part of informing the police via the medium of Jonathan's dad. You can also, what is your condition? What have you got?
I'm exhausted at the moment.
Well, the Lucozade and Kendallmint cake lifts your energy spirits, and you can remove the exhausted condition. Who goes home next? While Butch sits and sups his booze, watching his farm.
Either me or Christian. I mean, I'm happy to do. I think
those
we
are the two
established-
options.
No, I'm trying to think what we did when we were walking from school. I think my house is slightly closer.
Your house is closer to school and to where it meets Butch's.
Yeah, I think mine was the closest one to school,
and
Butch's was the first away. So if he's dropped us off, it would be a case of he'd drop me off, I'd walk home, and then he'd get there first because he was on a bike, but I'd probably be next, I think.
Okay. Yeah. So
I think it's chronological.
When you get home, Preston, you can see that your mum is, because it's a Friday night, so it must be D&D night, surely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So your mum has got I guess a bowl of Smarties. And who do you play? Who does Preston play D&D with? Is it some of the other German kids or something?
It was my uncle Desmond runs it, and he's the one that kind of he likes first edition D&D, so he got me into it. And he's trying to basically make me socialize with some of the kids of other families. Okay. So he's got I'll run a game, and then Preston can come, and I'll have my mate Billy's kids and that kind of thing. So
sure,
and I'm
sure.
because this awkward antisocial kid that wants to be on a computer, and he's like, no, come talk to people.
So is this one of those pre-campaign what happened before you meet everybody else and how Varazan became a great paladin? Is that the bit he's come to your house to do? Is that what you've been?
Well, no, we'll have this Varazan the Paladin will be the character I play in every game, regardless. For the different campaigns, I play Varazan the Paladin. So this will just be we're in the dungeons of the mines of the Goblin King or something, and so he's just it's Friday night. Remember we left it off, and you were just escaping the Troll Kingdom, and I'm and so it'll be my turn compared to everyone else who is kind of playing D&D because their parents think it's a good idea for them to be sociable.
Mm-hmm.
I've developed this passion for it, so I'm everyone, this is amazing, and they're
50-page backstories.
Yep.
Character art.
Yep. I've my own mini. I've kind of made out of clay, kind of thing.
So your mum is getting these things ready. Your dungeon master is already here, probably having a cup of tea and chatting with your dad and that kind of stuff. And he's obviously hey, Preston. And then he might apologise and go, no, sorry, English. English is the right, as your mum kind of scowls at him. And he's like, hey, did you have a good day?
And I was not really. I feel like I've had so many skill checks to make today, and I've kind of failed a lot of them. I've done some good stuff, but it's been a lot of difficult choices. I think Varazan would know what to do though. So when we play, I'm sure he'll be able to figure out what the right choices were. Sometimes it's difficult for a paladin to always do the right thing when doing the lawful thing isn't always the good thing. So maybe, I've not done bad, I've done good, and it's been good, but it might not have been lawful. I don't know. Yeah.
And he nods a bit, sensing that he's probably having a conversation about something he's got no idea about. And he's just a bit okay. And your mum leaves the treats and stuff, and she's probably oh my gosh, I need to clean the bathroom before anybody comes to visit. And she runs off. You can hear football. Bayern Munich is playing or whatever in another room of the house. And he sits there and he goes, well, that's a difficult thing about being a paladin, isn't it? You've devoted yourself to be good and strong and just, but really you're you're just a human. Well, sometimes you're an elf, but that's beside the part. You've made an oath, and the reason the gods like to see you make that oath is because they know it's a challenge. It's always a fight between them.
But so if a paladin, a lawful good paladin who always tries to do the right thing, is presented with a problem where he has to maybe not do the proper thing, like say the law says that you have to go to Paladin Academy and you think that if I go to Paladin Academy, I'm not going to rescue the man beast who is in a cave. But if I tell Paladin Academy that I'm not going to be there, and then go and rescue the man beast in the cave, that's okay, right? Because rescuing the man beast is good, but skipping Paladin Academy isn't as bad, right? That's good.
Well, yeah, the gods would say skipping Paladin Academy for a greater good is the test there, isn't it? Especially if skipping Paladin Academy is something you don't do very often.
I mean, only in absolutely dire circumstances. Like we thought that there was a creature that might be in really, really big trouble, and that by foraging into the cave of death that we could save them, and we did, and we could save them. Yeah, so Varazan could save somebody, and that's the right thing to do, isn't it? Even if it means letting people down.
Well, you have to remember your oath, though, at the end of it all. Because if you don't honour your oath, that's when... Well, it says... And he like, on page... I can't remember. Actually, it's probably here somewhere. Hang on. We can get it. It's up there. He says, like, yeah, here on page 74 of the complete book of Paladins, if the gods could take away your divine powers, and then you lose a couple of levels and you become just a fighter, which is not really what we roll this character for.
No.
So you have to kind of maybe make a sacrifice or a tithe, like if you found loot or treasure in.
So for example, like if Varazan skipped Paladin Academy to rescue a man beast, and was worried about skipping Paladin Academy, but he got treasure from the man beast's lair and he donated that to the local clerics, that would make amends. That would be like a good sacrifice.
Well, yeah, I think it has to be, and because it's Dungeons and Dragons, it's probably like has to be at least 10% of your total worth. If it's anything less than 25%, then you don't get any XP next session, kind of, you know, that kind of stuff. Because it used to give you modifiers if you use different kinds of stuff for different XP. So he goes through those rules with you.
If Varazan found 100 pound gold pieces, that would be a good sacrifice to the clerics of Sen.
Yeah, I think that would work. That would be a good thing.
Good.
And he has to maybe, you know, next time he does commune or he prays at the chapel, he has to promise that it would only be done again in a dire circumstance, because he has to make sure he stays with his alignment chart.
Absolutely. Good. Then I'm sure Varazan will be successful in his atonement and his continuing quests, and feeling like he has done good. And I kind of stand a bit more proudly, like, yes. Yeah.
And at some point in this conversation, he's noticed like your hand is all sort of burnt and stuff, and he's like, he's like, oh, did you catch yourself up? And he laughs. He goes, Paladin Academy. Did you get in some scrapes?
I was fighting a mighty warforged robot, and I couldn't quite work out how to defeat it, and I was trying to work out its circuitry, and it zapped me.
He gets like your kitchen kit and wraps it up a bit, cleans it with some sterile water and that kind of stuff, helps you out a bit. So and then at that point we probably hear like ding dong, and your mum probably is like,
Yeah. So let's start rolling dice, and I'm going to go grab my character sheet and
you flee off. So what conditions does Preston have?
I had upset and injured.
All right. Where did I just put the book down again? I've been doing this.
So, I was upset by the moral quandary of, one, not being able to fix things, and two, being off school.
Yeah. So let me just check. I think you can remove both conditions, but I want to just double check.
Yeah, no worries.
62 and 66. No, that doesn't help. Chapter 4. 60. Doesn't say. So I will assume that that you can, and if we can't, I will go back in the book and we'll sort it out next week.
Awesome.
But I think you are. So obviously you spend the night playing. He's fixed your hand. You're no longer upset. And at the end of the session, you get 300 gold, which is the equivalent of 300 XP, because that's how it worked back then. And you then rejoice.
I'll have spent the entire session trying to be like the most right on lawful good paladin
ever. Paladin of paladins ever. Yeah. And then. What? So where does Christian go? Does he go to the church because his anchor is Reverend Joyless, or is it Friday night and is? Because he's.
I think weren't you saying last week that maybe Maria could be your anchor?
Yeah.
Well, this is what we could maybe work out, because the other option is perhaps because Reverend Joyless is an unmarried man, there is a point where your mother probably thinks he needs to be taken care of, even if that means somebody else cooks for him and she presents it to him, and that kind of he comes over to your place for Friday evening meal.
Are you trying to say that my mum's trying to set Maria and Reverend Joyless up?
Probably.
Maybe.
Yeah, probably.
She's a good woman. She can cook and clean.
She can cook and clean. She's unmarried. Yeah, she could look after you, Reverend. It'd be fine. And then also that would give the opportunity for Christian and Reverend Joyless to maybe have become that anchor person.
Yeah.
If you see what, so it might not be unheard of that he comes round for tea, or he comes round to see your mum when Maria's working. Maybe, that kind of stuff. I don't know.
Oh.
I don't know.
We're
just developing this relationship. I'm just making sure that there's opportunities for this background drama in the.
Reverend Joyless having her way with everyone.
When the forums of Lancashire Loop, the series, are on, it's pretty sure they're going to ship Maria and Reverend Joyless, and that kind of stuff. Maria-less, or
he's jaded with the church. He's got to find it somewhere.
Yeah. But so that's what I'm asking. Is that what it is, or if you want to change your anchor to Maria, that's not a problem either, because we didn't really know these characters when we picked these kind of people.
I mean, I was imagining Maria.
Okay.
Not in that way.
No, I know.
Because I was imagining what I'm going to be thinking now is I'd like to try and basically sneak in, manage to get a wash, get changed. Maybe Maria can help me get rid of the clothes that are all scratched up and cappy and all kinds of crap. And just be splurge all this craziness of what I've just witnessed onto her, my upsetness, and see if cause I bet she's probably had to calm us down after Mum's gone off on one.
Yeah.
About something ridiculous.
Sure.
And then that's not even getting to the fact that I've not even done my blooming maths test. And who knows what I'm going to say about that.
Yeah. So we get in. Perhaps Mum's not home yet. Perhaps she is still off bustling and hustling for a new roof. and Maria is just putting like a load of washing into the washing machine. Like she's sort of doing chores and that kind of stuff. So you sneak into the back door, and she kind of looks at you, and
No, I'm 2 seconds. I'm switching over from my phone to my computer. So if you let me in on that one,
yeah,
I'll leave
it's all
this
going to
one.
go wonky in the thing, but it'll be fine.
Is it? All right.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, all our boxes are going to move.
all our boxes
Well,
are going to move around. We're going to
I'll
break
leave,
the.
I'll leave it as is then.
No, it's too late now.
Ah!
I know.
Help!
Hang on.
Yeah.
It's perfect. It's perfect. Oh gosh, how do we? There we go. Put that in the waiting room. Now, my name is James.
Oh,
I'm.
Violet's put something that has been caught by auto mod.
Oh, okay. I will. I'll go and have a
Sorry,
look.
it's broken, I think is what it said.
No, she said something. Another message came after that we didn't get to see.
Oh, okay. I will.
Automod picked up risque. Somebody typed risque in my chat, and Automod was like, "No, that is too dirty."
Risque is too risque.
Exactly.
All right.
The irony.
Where am I going to find?
Is that working? I don't know.
Yes. Yes. Okay.
Oh, did all caps? I see.
Oh, maybe the all caps is.
James is now GMing.
Oh, is he?
I'm
excellent.
DMing. Cool.
James is in charge.
Yay.
We all die. That's what happens when James
Yeah.
is a GM.
Hey.
A Duragar smashes their heads when you're level 1 because they use the enlarged.
God, don't talk to me about that.
I mean,
Flashback.
that's literally the first D&D session I ever ran that happened. So, yeah.
That's why I mentioned it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I
Can't believe you
mentioned
remember.
it. Yeah. I'm a terrible person who remembers all kinds of stuff. All kinds of stuff like that. But yeah, cool. All right, I think I've sorted it. I just need to make James's box the right size. There we go. Let's do that. That'll work. There we go. Yeah, caps mean shouty, so shouty no like. I need to tweak some of the settings. He told somebody off for doing too many emoji the other day as well, so I sorted that one out. And it's it's a work in progress. I've never used Stream Elements
I
before.
got told off for posting a clip.
I know. You got told by 3 different bots. The other 2 have gone now. The other 2.
Point where all the bouncers decide to eject you from the club.
Yeah, it was.
Whoa.
It was. But
Excuse me, sir. You're making a scene.
I've also had that happen to me too.
Yeah, too many bots. But now we're down to 1 bot, and I'll just need to tweak the amount of caps it does not like, because sometimes caps is not good. But anyway, Maria is bundling washing into the washing machine, a bedraggled looking Christian. So whether you are injured and exhausted, is that those the 2, or upset?
I was upset and injured, yes.
All right, so you look miserable, or perhaps just really anxious that you're going to get caught for this test, and also you've covered in cat cuts or something.
Yeah, I got scratched up.
Scratched up by Mr. Doldrum Cat, sir. And she like stops as she's putting the things into the washing machine. As you come to the back door, she stops and just looks at you like, Christian, what have you been doing?
Oh, do I tell her? Oh, Maria, it was so weird. Oh, I didn't do the maths test. I missed it.
And
it was all craziness.
So is she like Spanish or something?
I think she's Italian, actually.
Oh, is she Italian? All right, okay. So she probably says something in Italian, and then looks over her shoulder in case your like as a reflex, sort of.
Yeah.
Like everybody would do. So she then she's like, you come in. Your mother's still out. Come in. Not too loud though, because your father is working. And she points up to the window to your father's office, that you could probably see from the back door. And she brings you into the kitchen. From maybe like, you know, if you open the cupboards in the kitchen, all the Heinz, because you have to buy brand because that's proper, all the Heinz tins are lined up kind of thing. And she takes out like 2 cans of baked beans or something. And behind it, you can see like there's a stash of biscuits, like chocolate biscuits, stuff that your mum probably would be like, oh, chocolate hobnobs are too decadent. How could you? Kind of thing. And she takes out this pack of biscuits, puts the tins back, lines them back up so you never know that they were there.
Yeah.
Puts a couple on a plate for you, and maybe gets you like I don't know, some juice or some milk or something, and lets you sit down. And while you're doing that, she gets like some, what would it be, TCP or some antiseptic disinfectant for the cat cuts and stuff. Dettol, yeah. It's not going to be overly pleasant, but still going to be, you know, slightly. And so she begins. Yeah, she begins with a cotton bud as gently as she can. She goes, "What did this to you? What have you been doing, Christian?"
Oh, Maria, it was this cat, but it also became Mr. Doldrum, our science teacher. He was in a cat. I don't understand how it happened, but there was wires and he was led there, and then there was a cat, and then Preston and Butch did something, and all of a sudden Mr. Doldrum woke up and he said he'd been in the cat. And the cat that he was in, that I was trying to calm down, scratched me and did all this.
And she maybe reaches over, and the last biscuit that's on the plate, she says, "Have you eaten a lot of sugar today, Christian? What was for lunch at school?" As she slides it slowly across the table, kind of thing.
Yeah. I said, no, I just had like the packed lunch, nothing special, nothing ridiculous. Just I had the normal food.
Okay.
You know how Mum likes me to have all bran and not fun foods.
Yes, I do. I'm sorry, Christian. It's difficult in this house, I know, but she does love you. And
I wasn't questioning that.
Yeah.
Does she love me? Is there a doubt?
Now you're worried about it.
Now you're worried about it. Yeah. No, she does. She does love you. I know it's not the same as all the other children, and I can see why sometimes you might think you want to make up exciting stories.
I'm not making up, Maria. It really happened. It really did.
And she says, "Perhaps don't tell this to your mother then."
Okay.
I don't. Maybe do tell her. We'll tell her about a cat, and maybe we'll tell her that we had to chase it off. You were very brave, and very.
Oh, she'll like that because Mum wanted me to not have the cats around anymore. So if I chase one off, then that would.
Yes,
would be
I
good.
think.
I was gonna say that finding Mr. Doldrum was gonna be the reason I didn't do the maths test though, and now I've not done it. So probably the school's gonna call, the head teacher's gonna expel me. I'm sure it's all gonna end up terribly.
And she sort of. She shakes her head. She says, "No, I can't see them. It's just one maths test. Maybe I'll keep an eye out. I'll listen and see if they call. They haven't called today. Your mother's not been in. I'll take if they leave the message on the," and she gestures towards the answer machine, probably the MAF installed answer machine kind of thing. And she says, if it comes, I'll answer. And we can keep the happy house, because a happy house will be an easy house to keep, and we like keeping house. But we probably need to work out a way for you to take the test again.
Yeah, because Dad was really, really father. Sorry, shouldn't call him Dad. Father.
She pushes the biscuit back. Yeah.
Yeah. Father, yeah, was really like keen that I did well in this maths test because I haven't been doing so good in it.
Well, maybe we just use this as a moment to try harder. Maybe we could practice a bit.
I've got the textbooks here.
Yeah, clunk. And
Yeah, it's like massive, thick onto the table.
Giant shakes it, sort of thing.
Core Maths 3.
Yeah, she says, my nephew, maybe my niece. She's very good at maths. Maybe she could help. And she's like, yes, okay, let me make a call. And she leaves you with your glass of milk and your extra biscuit. And she goes off into the hall. You hear a shout up to your father, like, Mr. Christian, I'm just going to call my family for one moment, just kind of thing. And there's probably no reply. And then she makes a phone call and she talks in very excited Italian for
lots of hand gestures.
Yeah, lots of hand gestures, but whilst also holding a rotary phone kind of thing. And so, yeah, she talks excitedly in Italian for a little bit and eventually returns to the table. She says, my niece, I don't know an Italian name from the 80s. What should we call her?
Verona.
Okay, yeah, Verona. My niece Verona, she'll be here in, once she's finished her tea, and she will help you with some of this maths tonight. And if your mother comes home, we will say it's because you want to do the advanced test. Yeah?
Oh no. Okay.
Yeah. And so she
dig in that hole.
Yeah, she's not gonna, she's not gonna help you get past this lie because you didn't make any rolls for this, so there's gonna be some consequences. Everybody else rolled some dice. We just was like, yeah, well, hopefully she'll get it. But yeah, she'll bring Verona over, and hopefully Verona will help you study for the test.
And how old is Verona?
Probably, I don't know, 16. Old enough.
Much as love interest.
Yeah, old enough to be annoyed by having to teach an 11-year-old.
Yeah, some spotty little kid. Oh.
Yeah, but young enough to be bullied by an enthusiastic
cat.
Aunt.
Aunt. Oh, okay.
Yeah, Aunt Maria. Also, there's an angle there where she's probably told Verona. Like, Maria's probably told Verona, like, if you come and do this, maybe you can babysit and then they'll pay you because they're loaded here, kind of situation.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So eventually this teenage girl arrives. She's probably got some headphones and a Walkman.
Oh, she's coming straight round? Oh,
yeah,
right,
yeah,
okay.
she's coming around this evening so she can show your mum that she's good at teaching you maths.
Yeah.
And also that you can, when your mum says, how did the math test do? You don't have to say, I didn't do it. What you can say instead is, I'm studying for an advanced test now. And just lie of omission your way through it. That's Maria's.
Good call.
Yeah. Which might work. And in terms of confession is easy to do at church. So this happens. Verona comes over. You conspire with your anchor who's going to do that, and we spend Friday night trying to learn maths.
Wow, Friday night maths revision session. What an exciting evening that has been.
Sounds like it.
It definitely compared to Friday afternoon putting a human back in a cat.
out of game, what might have happened as what happened to me, like literally yesterday morning. Like I overslept for work and woke up and it was like I had a really bad night's sleep. Another story. I woke up and it was like 9:30 and I had a meeting at 9:30. So I logged on like ready to be like, oh, really sorry, I'm late. Yeah. And there was an email saying, oh, can we push this back to like tomorrow? And, like, Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, good plan. Good
This
plan.
morning, I woke up at 8:37, and I know that because Sophia asked Alexa what time it was. And I was like, "Oh no, I have to get to Penwitham by 8:45 to get to school." And obviously, I live near the docks now, so I was like, "All right," straight bounced out of bed, got dressed, got ready, and like zoomed to school. So yeah, that was a nightmare.
That's it.
There is something I've forgotten to do in my little downtime bit, by the way.
Yes, sure. Yeah.
Um,
What does Preston get up to?
So I made sure I found the cat from
Yes, we did. Yes.
the shack, and I want to take
forgot
it
about
home.
that. Oh, so you took the cat home with you?
Yeah, and I want to say to my mum that on the way back from school, I found a stray cat. He's called Mr. Doldrum, and
Can we keep
I
him?
want to look after him. And can we keep him as a pet?
All right. I think that's definitely a charm roll.
Yeah, and I want to keep Mr. Doldrum, the cat, as a pet. So charm, not great. So it's 2. Oh, that is 1 success though. So yeah.
All right. Because she's obviously such a softy for Preston. Anything to make Preston engage with things that aren't just sat at a computer. She's like, okay, yes, we will look after him. Are you sure you want to call him the same name as your teacher?
And I'm looking and go, yeah, he's smart. He's got grey hair. He likes science. Yeah, Mr. Doldrum. It's a good name, Mr. Doldrum Katzer.
Mr. Doldrum Katzer. Is this the teacher that has gone missing, Preston? Are you feeling okay?
This is a way to keep his memory close because we're so worried about him at school.
She nods. She says, I got a letter that said there are grown-ups you can talk to.
Yeah.
But
now I can talk to the cat.
If you need to talk to the grown-ups as well, though, Preston,
okay.
Look, we can arrange. Like, I know there are some, and she's probably talking in German right now.
Yeah.
And she's like, I know there are some things are difficult when you have a second language to talk to these people. If you need, we could maybe get the Loop should get. There are translators that your dad could get to come and help you talk to the.
It's okay. I'll just snuggle Mr. Jordan Katzer. It's all good.
Yeah, and you can see she's worried.
Yeah, and I'll just walk off snuggling the cat.
Yeah, the cat. This old stinky cat that's been keeping Mr. Doldrum alive for a fortnight. So Friday night is spent playing D&D, learning maths, and actually reading the book.
Yeah, and being the best boyfriend and mother I can possibly be. I also want to have if I get a chance, have a look at the tool my granddad was refound.
Yeah. You just look it over. It is the tool he had.
Is there anything special about it, or is it just like a bog standard tool?
Aside from the fact that it's probably 500 years old. There's nothing special about it. No, it's just one of these Ujima flips that's, slightly polished from age and use, but not nothing particular or even unique about it. You've seen a billion others, but this one is specifically like Grandpa Frank's one. That was Grandpa John's one. That was Grandpa Henry's one, kind of thing. It's the best one to use on the Pigfields gate because it's that kind of thing. Nothing special about it. Doesn't look like it's thing, but yeah, he found it. He's happy. You see him, you hear him head out to Labour Club.
Yep.
To go and talk and that kind of stuff. You spend the evening sort of watching the farm, reading the book, catching up where you are. You watch the bots. The evening goes on by, and you make a investigation roll for me, Butch.
So investigation. That's gonna be interesting. I put a point in it, so I got 3 dice.
Nice.
Let's see how this goes. I did get a success.
You did?
Yeah, I got 1 success.
Alright.
Nice.
So as you're sort of the end of the night, just watching out, because remember, like the night before, we were suspicious about stuff.
Yeah.
So we peer out the windows towards the end of the night, but just before we go to bed. Already brushed our teeth so our mum can't interrupt us, and we watch outside for maybe 20, 30 minutes. And at one point, you watch as the bots, they all come back to their base station.
Yeah.
And it's like a mini bot meeting for a couple of minutes. And they sort of go around the base station, and they then move back a bit. And the one that can scan scan perimeters and shapes and stuff, the one that's got that sort of sensor set up, scans the area around the bottom of the tower, the communications tower, and then goes back to this group of bots. And it you know they do this. This is when they're exchanging information and updating each other. And it goes back to this group, and there's obviously an update. And then the one that can probably do more of the fine manipulation and the fine details goes across the yard. Maybe does the farm have any dogs?
Yeah, I'd imagine so. Probably
Yeah.
got like some big dogs.
Yeah, so it goes over to the dogs, who are probably there sleeping. Now they don't care about these bots because they've been around for a while. And as it heads over there, you see it sort of bump into it a bit, almost like it knows to sort of ruffle or stroke the dog. And while it's doing that, it cuts off its collar, takes it back to the others, drops it on the floor, they scan it, and then another one scoops it up inside like a pocket inside a carrying thing, and then they all fly off.
What is going on?
What? Oh, so confused.
And they all fly off. And as it's 10 p.m, I think we'll all go to bed.
Yeah.
I think it's late.
I may have had my glossy condition removed, but I'm still very tired.
Yes, indeed.
It's funny. It's always Butch's cliffhanger. Butch saw the alien, and
it's
there was
Butch's
something
summer,
weird on
isn't
that
it?
farm.
It's Butch's summer.
Yeah, it is Butch's summer.
So, let's just go through the questions. Did we partake in this session?
Yeah.
Yes.
I partook.
Almost a no, but we definitely did. Where is the XP questions? I've lost my little notebook. It's somewhere in this house of too much stuff. 88. All right. Did you partake in this session? Yes, I did. Have you been in trouble because of your problems or your relationships? Not really. We kind of got out of trouble. Oh, there was trouble. Butch and Preston both had PvP. And
Does it count as trouble?
It
You
does.
did, yeah.
That's technically trouble, isn't it? Rolling dice
Yeah.
and getting So
Yeah.
that's mechanical trouble. So I think from that, we've been in trouble and because of
Okay.
our relationships.
I suppose that was a conflict of our prides, basically. Like,
Yes, it was. Yeah.
yeah.
Did you use or struggle with your pride?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are Christian's prides? Do we need to look at them if he's not?
No, my pride is the truth is out there.
Well,
I'm a strong believer that, the things that I see are real.
so I guess you kind of, I don't know whether you struggled with it, but you definitely used it when you were telling Maria the truth.
Yeah.
And she was pretty much like, how much sugar have you eaten? Because you
I mean,
were,
that's the thing. No one's going to believe me, are they?
you were the most honest explanation there.
100%, yeah.
100% told the truth. So
Yeah.
you used your pride there.
Yeah, like, I mean, there's a risk of you coming across as insane by telling the truth, and you still went, no, seriously, he was a cat. Like, so, yeah, so
So, yeah.
absolutely.
Absolutely, Christian did do that.
I play my character.
Yeah, you do. I like Christian. I like how everything is filtered through this wondrous innocence.
Yeah, it's great.
He's lovely. Did you put yourself at risk for the other kids?
Yes.
Butch certainly did.
Yeah, Butch gets things done.
We put all the responsibility on Butch to go tell
I
the
think
adults.
so. Yeah, I think so. And have we learned something new?
Yes.
Those bots are weird.
This was
Yeah.
very weird.
Mr. Doldrum is probably going to run away.
He absolutely does.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say that from the sounds of it, I think me and Chris have got 4, and then Martin once again has got 5.
Power gamer.
Yeah.
Okay,
We always knew it.
Min-maxing all this, yeah. Totally, 100%.
Yeah. Min-maxing Tales from the Loop. I love it. So next week is like when we were trying to work this stuff out and sort this test of doing this. Next week is the last session.
Okay.
Yeah. And then
Whatever.
for now, because I was very conscious when we were planning this that if we didn't have like a length and we weren't enjoying it, we would just be like, So I
Yeah.
was very conscious, like we would do a fixed length, which is why we agreed, because the week after is when we're going to go and play on the Free League channel.
Yes.
Mhm.
We're going to go and play on there, like big, famous pro streaming folk who will totally know.
I'll make sure my computer's not doing updates when we start that. Don't worry.
Update on a Monday night. So yeah, in 2 weeks we're going to go and play on the Free League channel, which is very exciting. But next week, that's the last episode of Butch's Summer.
Yeah.
So I guess whatever happens next week, we find out if Butch gets a summer off or he doesn't, and then we decide, because we could take these kids over to Free League and play the Odd Socks over there. Or
I mean, that might be fun, but I'm happy to do something different as well.
if it all goes horribly wrong, we might not be able to. Everybody might be grounded, or we might have to make new kids. There we go. Those are the stakes for next week's, folks. We get to play these kids.
Awesome.
Yeah. Is anybody? What am I doing? I'm on the UK Games Expo channel tomorrow. We're going to be talking with Catan and Candlekeep, who are a nice little friendly local game store. Is anybody else doing any other streaming the rest of the week?
No, I've got no plans.
No plans.
Just Saturday for me. Saturday starting Rome Total War.
Oh, okay, cool. That
Nice.
sounds fun. But yeah, thanks for joining us. Thanks for sticking around while we sort out what happens with a mad, crazy scientist cat and get in trouble and then get out of trouble. I've had lots of fun this week. We'll be back next Tuesday, 8 p.m. ish. Bye. Should I play the intro now?
Yes.
Yeah, do the
All right,
absolutely.
do the session, the session that Time forgot. Let me just check I have got that. Yeah, okay. We'll play the intro, and while that's happening, I'll find someone to raid. Thanks very much for joining us, folks.
Yeah.
Bye. Here we go. Bye.